Last week, I was in Aspen talking to an avid ski fan in his 20s. He couldn't believe that NBC wasn't streaming the men's downhill live. He couldn't understand why the Olympics coverage was time-shifted to the evening hours, when all the results were already known, but more importantly, when he and his friends couldn't comment on the events online and in real time. So for anyone following closely, there's been much tweeting about how NBC has been handling the Olympics. What are the chances that this antiquated business model will come under pressure? I think it already has. Our technology also allows for depth and transparency. It is a self-correcting means of expression. News sharing and engagement is a relatively new concept. We've mainstreamed it. Until news became available in digital format, the community consuming it was porous and unnetworked. Now we've hit critical mass. On the Huffington Post, we've been able to pool the efforts of our staffers and readers to tap into what we call citizen journalists. Mayhill Fowler was one of our citizen journalists. You might recall that it was Mayhill who reported Obama's comment about disenfranchised blue-collar workers and how they cling to guns and religion in bad economic times. This triggered a second wind to Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. Bittergate, as it became known, was one of the true seismic moments of the 2008 campaign. It was a momentary game changer. We also get many contributions from our audience. A good example is a slideshow about the funniest protest signs. How about this one? My 2 moms can beat up your 14 wives. Or this seemingly nonsensical one, is Obama French? Am I supposed to take offense to that? As you can see, we're entering into a golden age of journalism. More people than ever are engaging with current events. At the Huffington Post, we have the opportunity to build the brand that defines news and opinion on digital platforms. So how do we build a big business with this opportunity? Because we are a combination of a content site and a social media network, our revenues will come from advertising and social marketing. We couldn't have reached our current size without having one foot firmly planted in technology and the other foot in content. But when it comes to building our revenues, we thought that we would follow a similar formula: a heavy dose of technology mixed with some human salesmanship. We welcomed the promise of new technology in terms of monetizing content. We thought, let's use ad networks that specifically target consumers based on the information that we give them. Then we can present consumers who visit the Huffington Post with just the right ad. But to our surprise, that didn't work. Algorithms might work for search engines, but not for us. Technology is essential for the back end of delivering ads, but it doesn't work on the front end, not for us. Over the past few years, ad networks and exchanges have unwittingly, I believe, we can discuss that later, driven the revenues to publishers almost to zero. When I joined the Huffington Post as CEO last summer, our CPM yields from indirect sales were 40 cents. 40 cents. No one can build a business, let alone a large one, with those kinds of numbers. I want to be clear that we still serve ads from networks and use a very good optimizer, your conference sponsor, PubMatic. But indirect sales are likely to be 15% or less of our revenues this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were zero in the next few years. And while CPMs have improved somewhat, Pullman showed us CPMs going all the way to $1 to the publisher, and we're definitely seeing that trend. So while they've improved somewhat from the lows of last summer, they really have a long ways to go. But because we have attracted an incredibly valuable audience, we believe in a bright revenue future. We realized that we would have to do it the old-fashioned way, by building a large, experienced sales force who knows how to develop relationships and offer up the Huffington Post as part of the solution for our clients' marketing needs. In the last year, the Huffington Post has doubled its sales force. We hired someone that many of you know, former Yahoo EVP of Global Sales, Greg Coleman, as our President and Chief Revenue Officer. We added a West Coast VP and an East Coast VP of Sales to our team. Our investments in experienced salespeople are already paying dividends, which is really no surprise. Our revenues are well on track to double once again in 2010. Our CPMs now are well over 10 times what ad networks are able to deliver, and I expect that to go even higher. In addition to digital advertising, we're very excited about the opportunity to bring social marketing to the Huffington Post. This is early days for all of us in this field, but the experiments are promising. Let me show you a couple of current examples. So we partnered with Cisco for our Twitter coverage of the TED conference. Prominent Cisco branding was featured on the page that aggregated in real time all of the TED-related Twitter feeds our editorial team had deemed noteworthy. Prominent space across our site was also given to traffic drivers that featured Cisco branding and the most recent tweet from these feeds. As we continue to develop our Twitter pages, we believe marketers will be willing to take the plunge by posting their own sponsored tweets within these pages. Another current example of using social news to insert marketers into the conversation is a program that we're currently doing with General Electric. We leveraged our sophisticated system of article keywords to deploy a custom ad execution for GE. If an article was categorized as wellness, several special branding elements appeared on the article. Furthermore, sharing actions such as posting an article on Facebook or tweeting carried with them subtle brand elements. So a story posted to Facebook would include a small thumbnail image, and a posted tweet would include GE's hashtag. By the way, 6 months ago, I didn't even know what a hashtag is. Finally, we provided GE with a data feed of sharing statistics on article tagged wellness. This was made possible by leveraging our in-house real-time stats system. But one thing is for sure, life is changing at warp speed, and the marketing cycles are driving towards real time. The advertising community has to do a double catch-up. First, digital ad dollars are still not matching online eyeballs. Second, we need to address the on-demand opportunity created by social engagement and mentioned by some of the prior speakers. The Huffington Post has arrived. Last fall, we overtook all national online newspapers with the exception of the New York Times. Our traffic doubled from the end of 2008 to 2009, and this year it should double again. We define news and opinion on digital platforms, and we're in the process of building a strong, profitable business. We're here to stay, and we look forward to partnering with all of you. Thank you.